Hello everyone, this is Chris from Spoon Graphics with another video tutorial for Adobe Photoshop. Today I'm going to show you how you can easily create cool looking vintage logo designs by combining antique illustrations with some visually interesting textiles and layouts. This kind of artwork is really popular as t-shirt graphics, so I'll show you how to set up your document at the appropriate size for a t-shirt design. To finish off the artwork, we'll apply some vintage print effects and make use of my washed and worn textures to make the digital design look like a realistic old t-shirt print. Unless you're a talented illustrator who can create detailed drawings by hand, we'll need some assets to make use of. If you're watching this tutorial within the first week of its upload, there's currently a superb deal on a range of vintage resources by my friends at Design Cuts. The immense vintage treasure trove is discounted from $2,296 to just $29, and it contains one product in particular, amongst many other useful tools, called the World's Greatest Vintage Collection, which features over 1,000 high quality vintage illustrations. I'll be using just one of the illustrations from this set, but this product and the bundle as a whole will provide endless uses for the rest of your design career. Hit the link in the description to pick up the entire bundle while it's on offer. If you're watching this sometime in the future after the deal has expired, I'll provide a link so you can still pick up the World's Greatest Vintage Collection on its own. At $49 it's still incredible value considering the sheer number of assets it contains, including elements, textures, patterns and even a font. So to create your vintage brand t-shirt design, open Adobe Photoshop and create a new document. Common dimensions for the printable front of a t-shirt is 12 by 14 inches, so create a document at this size. It's sensible to set the resolution at 300 ppi since your t-shirt artwork will likely be printed. And because we're working for print, it's a good idea to set the colour mode to CMYK, even though this design just makes use of white and red. This particular design will be intended for darker coloured t-shirts, such as black, so to fill the canvas with the default black foreground colour, use the shortcut Alt and Backspace. Let's choose an antique illustration from the World's Greatest Vintage Collection to use as the foundation for this design. There's over 1,000 illustrations to choose from that have been restored from old books. I'll be using the snake drawing from Animals Volume 1. Open the image, then go to Select and All and Edit and Copy. Close the file, then paste the graphic into the working document. You can't see anything because it's a black drawing against a black background, so go to Image Adjustments and Invert. You'll see in this large resolution print file, the illustration isn't quite big enough. You could scale it up with Command and T or Control and T on Windows, but doing so will degrade the quality of a raster image. But don't worry, the World's Greatest Vintage Collection also includes vector EPS files for each illustration too. Delete this layer and find the same illustration in the EPS folder. Open that in Photoshop. It'll default to its normal size, but vector files can be scaled to any size. Put an asterisk and 2 at the end of the width dimension, which will times it by 2, effectively doubling its size. You can now copy and paste this larger version into the main document and it fills most of the canvas. Double click the layer to add a colour overlay. I'm going for a red colour. Since we're working in CMYK, it's a good habit to set specific ink values so you can be sure your colours will print as expected. This illustration is too large now, but you can safely scale it down even though it has been rasterized. You just can't scale it back up again afterwards, unless you make it a smart object first, but let's continue. Choose the rounded rectangle shape tool and max out the corner radius to 1000 in the top toolbar. Change the drop down menu to Path, then draw a shape on the canvas. It's a shame the maximum corner radius is 1000 because you start to get straight edges appearing if you go too large. But the scale of this design is just small enough to draw a rounded rectangle with fully curved ends. Switch to the Type tool, then hover over the path to see the Type on a Path icon. Click to begin typing on a path. Switch the foreground and background colours around to set the text in white. My fictional brand for this tutorial is Sleeping Serpent Supply Co. I'm using the Trade Gothic font in its many styles. There's a link in the description for you to activate it for use in your Photoshop. Set this wording in heavy compressed, then in the character panel activate all caps and make sure the paragraph style is centered. To center the text relative to the shape, select the Path Selection tool. You'll then be able to drag the text into place. Press Command and T and scale and position the text relative to the snake illustration. We want to make sure it's centered, so drag a guide out from the rulers and allow it to snap to the middle of the canvas. Using the Command and T shortcut brings up the bounding box handles so you can see whether the centers align. Size up the text so it covers the top half of the rounded rectangle. There can only be one text element on each path, so use the Command and J shortcut to duplicate this text layer and its associated path. Edit the wording, then use the Path Selection tool to drag the text to the bottom of the path. To get the text to read the right way, it has to be positioned on the inside, but there's a clever trick to move it to the outside. In the Character panel, alter the baseline shift to a negative value to move the text outwards until it aligns with the path. You can then make any adjustments to the font. I'm using compressed with the tracking set to 50. To make some room for more elements under the snake, move this text element vertically. Select the type tool again and spell out another text element in some empty space. You can fill out the space in vintage style logo designs with catchwords like established or trademark. Use another variant of the Trade Gothic font to mix up the styling while preserving a consistent typography style. I'm using the normal version in heavy. Don't forget to clear any unwanted character settings. Add a new layer and draw some decorative shapes to outline this text element. Choose the Line tool and change the drop down in the top toolbar to Shape. Draw a short line and give it a 10 pixel stroke. Hold Alt and nudge the shape, which will duplicate it onto a new layer. Move this new version underneath the text. Double click the text layer and give it the same colour overlay effect to inject more colour into the design. Hold Shift and click all the layers that form this text element and the two lines. Then use the shortcut Command and J to duplicate them. Move these elements to the other side of the logo layout and edit the wording. Place another text element in the space underneath the illustration. This time use a rectangle to outline the text, with the same 10 pixel stroke setting. Make sure everything aligns to the guide by confirming it with Command and T to check the center handle. Make a copy of the type on a path layer, scale it down and edit the wording. You can alter the visual hierarchy of text elements by using different sizes, weights, and also different font styles. Click the link in the description to activate the Corner Store script font. You need to be careful with script fonts to make sure the letters smoothly flow into each other. Zoom in and configure the character settings to suit. Using the optical kerning mode helps, then adjust the tracking to get it close enough. You can then position your cursor between two letters and make manual adjustments with the Alt and left and right cursor keys. Tie this element in with the colour scheme by giving it the red colour overlay layer style. A surrounding border would look good around the logo, but at this size we've reached the limit of the 1000 pixel corner radius. Instead we'll have to draw it manually. Draw a circle instead, holding Shift to keep it perfectly circular. Eyeball its size and position so it follows the curvature of the text. Duplicate this circle and position it towards the bottom. Use the Direct Selection tool, the white arrow within the same tool group as the Path Selection tool, to select and delete the points of each circle closest to each other. In the Layers panel, highlight both ellipse layers and use the shortcut Command and E for Merge Layers. Activate the Pen tool, then hover over the open point and join it with the one opposite. Shift and click from the top layer right down to the bottom layer in the Layers panel to select everything, then move the entire design into place in the centre of the canvas. Scale it if necessary to fit within the printable t-shirt area. As a finishing touch, let's apply some effects to give the artwork more of a vintage appearance. One of my favourite tricks is to round off the corners of fonts to give them a bleeding ink effect. Highlight the main text layer and go to Filter, Noise and Median. Choose to convert the layer into a smart object, which will preserve the editable text inside it. Zoom in and set the median value as high as possible before the text starts to completely lose its definition. Repeat the process for every other text layer. You can use the median menu option right at the top of the filter menu, but hold the Alt key while clicking it to make sure it asks to convert to a smart object first. The smaller text elements will need a much lower value, so configure the settings for each one individually. Since we're designing a t-shirt, let's make use of my washed and worn textures, which give your artwork the appearance of an old tee that has cracked and flaking ink from years of being washed and worn. You can download my free version on Spoon Graphics, but if you're working on a real t-shirt print, you'll want the larger resolution washed and worn deluxe pack. Psst, you can get a 50% discount code when you join my mailing list. Use the code NEWSUBSCRIBER to get it for $10. Group all the layers so everything is contained in one folder, then apply a layer mask to this group. Open up one of the washed and worn textures, then copy and paste it. Hold the Alt key and click the layer mask to edit its contents. Paste in the texture, then use Command and T to scale, rotate and position it to find the best texture layout. Click anywhere to exit out of the mask. To see the texture erases parts of the artwork, as if bits have flaked away, just like an old t-shirt. Don't forget to turn off the black background layer before exporting your artwork, because you'll want the background of your print to be the actual t-shirt fabric. The final result is a cool vintage style brand logo that looks great as a t-shirt design. The antique illustration really enhances the design, especially with the simple colour scheme. Then simply laying out a range of text elements in a visually interesting composition builds a vintage badge logo that's ideal for use as a t-shirt graphic or as an actual brand identity. If you enjoyed this tutorial or learned any new tips and tricks, a thumbs up on the video would be really appreciated. Stick around for more of my content by subscribing to the channel, and be sure to join my mailing list at Spoon Graphics to download all my free design resources. As always, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.